Hello, everybody. My name is Lydia Middleton. I'm the Executive Director of ASIS, and I'm here today with Ian Ruthven, who is a candidate for President-elect of the association. Hello, Ian. Welcome.
Hi, Lydia. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. So I have a few questions for you, and then when we get to the end, I'll give you a chance to add in anything you might not have been able to say already, we'll go from there. So my first question for you is, why are you a member of ASIS, and what keeps you renewing your membership every year?
My first interaction with ASIS was reading JASIS and trying to get published in JASIS, which was really aspirational for me because all the people whose research I really admired published in JASIS. And I did. I published my first JASIS article 20 years ago, and I got a set of really constructive, insightful reviews sent to me by airmail. It was unbelievably exotic. But that was like my first and very typical interaction with ASIS. As more I've been involved with the meetings of ASIS, I realized, it is a global community of scholars. And when you attend an ASIS meeting, you learn a lot about your own part of the discipline, but also what other people are doing, what the latest thinking, what the achievements, and how it all links up. And I think the fact that it is a global membership organization is so important because the members make ASIS and they make the meetings work and they make the content work. And I can't think of any other organization that has the global reach and depth of ASIS as a research organization for information science. And you always learn something, you always meet somebody interesting, and you always develop your own skills and your own knowledge. And I think it's so invaluable as a discipline. And that's why I keep coming back to ASIS. There's nothing like it.
Fabulous. Thank you. I agree. So what particular skills and experience would you bring to the board?
I think I'm naturally a collaborator. I've worked with lots of different people in different countries and different universities, in industry, practice, professional bodies. And I try and make things work. And I think that's important, that especially if you're in a position of trust, that you try and do the best. You don't always agree and everybody's different, but I think we can create common agendas and common ways of working. My own department is very international. If I think of the PhD students I've been lucky enough to supervise, they come from over 12 different countries. And that's really important. You learn a lot about yourself from working with other people. You learn about also how to bring out the best in other people. And I think leadership roles are not at all about imposing yourself on other people. They're about bringing out the best in other people. And I'm a huge admirer of other people's talents and skills. And if people are doing something great, I can learn from them and I'm not going to interfere and let them get on with it. And so really, I'm about making things work. And I think that's the best thing you can do in one of these kind of positions. In the various positions I've had, I've also had to develop a lot of strategy or contribute to strategy. I was head of school here for 6 years and we had to develop a lot of strategies. And I think I'm quite good at strategic thinking. And for me, a good strategy it's aspirational, but it's also achievable. But it has to come from a position of sincerely respecting what people want to achieve, that people can buy into it and actually work towards something they care about. I think I'm quite a receptive person. So I do listen to other people. I try and learn from other people and learn why they're coming at something from their position and how we can work together. And so I am about making things work. And I think that's kind of the best you can try and do for any other organization is to try and make things better.
Fantastic. Thank you. So what aspects, speaking of strategy, what aspects of the current strategic plan, keeping in mind it's 3 years old now, we've done much of what's in the plan that we're supposed to be doing, but what aspects of that strategic plan would you be most interested in focusing on while you're on the board?
I think ASIS has done some really great things over the last few years in developing new communities. So both intellectual communities recognizing the trends in the discipline and reacting to them, but also working in different parts of the world and establishing a stronger ASIS support and presence there. And that's something that I really am keen to support to keep going, because I think if ASIS is going to be useful, it has to work with different people in different areas and be receptive and learn from them. I also appreciate that ASIS is really a values-led organization. And I think if values are going to be useful, they have to be embedded in what we do on an everyday basis. And I think a lot of us came into information science because we had strong personal values. And I think the fact that ASIS can reflect those and work with those and develop those is really important. I'm also really passionate about helping people at different stages in their career. When I started as an academic, I was really benefited a lot from other people's kindness and support. And it wasn't people that had responsibilities towards me. It was just people that, maybe invited me to other people that had thought of me when they were arranging things. And I think those kind of things ASIS does really well. It's a very welcoming community. You've got the new leaders program, the mentorship program. And it's not always about leaders. It's about people contributing in different ways and being recognized for that. And I think if we can keep that going, keep that special ASIS feel that it is a welcoming community, even if you can't attend the ASIS annual meeting, you can still be part of the community, still benefit from the community. And I think that is so important. And helping people not just be recognized in our community, but also in their own institutions for what they're doing for ASIS, for their important contributions. I think that's really valuable. And I'm keen that we can keep thinking of ways to do that.
Super. And our last question, what is not addressed in our current strategic plan, keeping in mind that your term in office will align nicely with the development of a new strategic plan. What is not currently addressed in the strategic plan that you think is important for ASIS to consider as it strives to be relevant in the future?
I think the current plan has been really successful, and I think it's great that so much has been achieved. I also think it's great if we don't achieve everything, because that means we're stretching ourselves and being aspirational. But I think for ASIS and the plan to be relevant, it has to be useful and meaningful to the people that it affects. And I said, I think we work in lots of different parts of the world now, and we have lots of different relationships with national, international, regional bodies, and we have to learn from our members what is useful and meaningful to them in terms of a strategy. So I think a lot of it is keeping conversations going and thinking about how those conversations feed back to what ASIS is doing, feed back to the leadership, not just recognizing diversity, but valuing it and working with it. I think a lot of our theories and models and so on and information science are still very Western. And when you see people doing things differently in different parts of the world, asking the same questions but investigating them differently, it enriches everything. So I think I want to celebrate diversity and keep those feedback loops back to ASIS as a community from different parts of the world, from different intellectual organizations, different intellectual bodies, different parts of discipline do things differently. Like, that's great. I also think that we've got so much to offer as a membership organization. This ASIS staff is a very small but very effective organization. We can't always rely on you to do everything. And I think when we think of ways that the membership can contribute to sharing its knowledge and its expertise and its resources in different ways. Maybe it's not always ASIS organized events, it's ASIS branded events. Maybe it's making use of things we already have, but sharing them in different ways. And I think, again, it's conversations. And I think a good strategy is about creating conversations and making use of those conversations and pushing everything forward. So what I'd really like to see in the new strategies it develops is how we create conversations around some of these issues. And rather than assuming we know what we want to achieve from the start. But it's all about conversations, all about moving forward, I think working together and trying to do good things for each other, because that's what we all care about, I think, in ASIS, and why people come back and why people keep coming back if we can do good things.
Fabulous. All right. Well, those were my 4 questions. Is there anything that you want to share that wasn't touched upon with those 4?
Just one thing, come to London. Registration is open. We have a great program. The hotel's filling up fast. Come to London for the annual meeting. It's going to be great.
Fabulous. And we'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.